You said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Backstage with Al and Jay. Are you ready?
You what?
And now, your host, Al Silva.
Who? Hello, everyone. We have an amazingly special episode. We have the legendary Detroit Goth Rockstar Golden Gambit backstage here in the studio. Everyone, please welcome in the legend himself. Golden, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming on to the show.
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Awesome. I forgot we were pre-testing, and I added the sweet reverb because last time I was I had metal band Get the Gatling. We played with Get the Gatling too that day, and I had a guy named Zachary who was in the chat. And he's like, more reverb, more reverb. So I was like, all right, I got to add way more reverb here. But that's awesome. So thanks for coming in today. I've been talking to you. I knew from the moment, first of all, the moment I met you and you played on stage. So the backstory of where we started was there was a show that this guy Zachary, I always shout him out because he's just constantly in my life some way or another, and he was putting together this show called Color Wave Festival, and it was at this art house, the Packard Art House, with a lady named Alta. And so there was just a variety of bands. It was metal, it was punk and goth. It was all sorts of stuff. It was really sweet. And I did the sound for that day. And it was so funny because I was telling Zachary, I was like, I don't want to do the sound. It's always so much work, dude. And like, what's funny is like, it sounds good. Like, I want to make everybody sound amazing. Like, I'm trying to do everything to make it sound amazing. And then I have to go on stage and I can't do both. So then like my set never sounds as good as everybody else's because I can't clone myself. And then I saw Golden's set and I was like, oh man, I love your music, bro. Like, that was sick. That was sweet. And then the craziest part was then after that, you started really growing your online presence. And I've been like a fan of that as trying to be a content creator myself. I see you out there like grinding. Like I've been trying this thing where it's like, I want to post once a day, at least once a day, every day. I'm going to try for a whole year. You're over here posting like 7-8 times a day. I'm like, damn, how does he do it? But you're just growing and growing. So like, how did you first of all, how did you decide what you wanted to be, this persona you are? How did you come to this, and where'd you get your start at?
So it took a long time. I started making music in 2007, and there were different phases from then up until now. I grew up listening to 9 Inch Nails, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, and when I started to make my own music, I was constantly trying to create my own look, my own like brand and my own style. And it wasn't until probably about 2-3 years ago, like something just awakened in me, and I was like, okay, let me just make something, like no rules, like I don't care, who likes it or who doesn't. Let me just make my own look. And I had made a song called Drop Dead, and for the music video, I just took a stab at throwing on black lipstick and black tears, and ever since then, I just stuck with it, and like it represents my music. It represents who I am as a person. Like, I've always been attracted to dark literature, goth music, horror films, just dark things. And I just stuck with it.
Yeah, and I love that message you're saying. It's like, I don't care who's into it, who's going to like it, who's going to whatever. And because I think that's probably one of the biggest things that anytime I get asked, like, oh, I want to start, and even like literally people in my life, they were like, oh, I want to do some stuff, but I'm not sure. And I don't know. I don't want people to be like, oh, this is like, first of all, there's kind of two paths to it. It's like, nobody cares. Like, nobody actually cares. They're like not really concerned about you. But B, it's like, there's so much out there to me where it's like you should feel comfortable in releasing your stuff because, it's in a sea of options. It's in a seat. Like everybody has their phone and they're like scrolling. So like you don't need to worry about if your stuff's good or not. Just keep putting it out there because I think everybody at the end of the day will get better. The more you put out there, you'll learn lessons. Like I'm constantly learning, dude. Like everything I do, as soon as I post something, I go, oh man, I wish I would have done that better. Or learning from people around you, like you. I'm like learning from you all the time. I'm like, man, because I saw you on Threads when you first started on Threads, and I'm like, how do I grow on Threads? That was the one thing I was thinking because it's brand new. It's like a alt Twitter, you know what I mean? And but it's similar, you know. You have text posts and you're trying to engage. It's really like a giant discussion board. Like everybody's just talking, and I just see you out there going like, hey, I'm looking for people that are who's into Detroit goth scene. Where are the alternatives at? And the other thing I wanted to ask you about this because this has been big on your page for a long time, and I'm like, what is this? I cannot wait to ask you. What is the Sigma Wolf thing? Like, what is this movement that you are driving? Because it's like really just rushing forward. So I'd love to hear about that.
Okay, yeah. So shout out to my homie Lovey. Lovey is a great artist, and he had gave me some advice to make some content, but don't label it. Like just make content, throw it out there, and see what the public says. So I had made just like some normal content, like with my face, like some music playing, and somebody had commented, "You give me Sigma Wolf vibes," and I was like, "What is that?" I've never heard of that. So I'm gonna do some research, and the Sigma is basically a introverted version of the alpha male. Like you know how the stereotype is gym rat, macho, loud, you know, Andrew Tate type, toxic masculinity. As to whereas the Sigma is more underground, more non-traditional, you know, and a lot of qualities of the Sigma relate to Golden Gambit, which the Golden Gambit brand is about being yourself, embracing your individuality, not conforming to any rules, you know, not following anybody, just doing what makes you happy. And so I started making content geared toward that community, and it just popped off, you know, and I've met a lot of cool people, and I'm fully invested into it. And it's grown into an actual movement that inspires people, you know, to be themselves and not care what people think. You know, the movement empowers people who feel misunderstood and who feel lost and who feel alone. And the Sigma Wolf community is like a safe place for everybody, all genders, you know, just anybody, like whatever your beliefs are, it's a safe place for you.
I love that. I love that. Like you said, it's like an introverted, because I think that's a lot of the times where people talk about confidence or cockiness. Like, what's the difference between the two? And confidence truly is like internal. It's like, I know what I am, who I am, what I can do, what I can provide, my abilities are. And so when you know that, it's inside you. You don't need to like express it out like you're saying, like this outward appearance, like, yeah, well, I'm the top dog, I'm the alpha. It's like, no, the Sigma. Because my kids, they're Gen Alpha at this point, so it's like, I hear a lot of the terms, and one of those is like, Sigma. It's like, what, the Sigma? Yeah. And so I totally get that. It's like, I love that there's a movement towards this. I love that there's a movement towards like, hey man, I don't need to conform. Because I think there was a lot of that, let's say 10 years ago, where it's like everybody was trying to do what everybody else was doing. It's like, oh man, how can I be like them? How can I be like that? And it's like, now it's like the opposite. Now it's like, how can I be myself? Because we're each one of us is an individual that does not exist anywhere else on this earth, which is crazy to think because there's 8 billion people on this planet. Billion, like, yeah. And each one of us is an individual person, which is just nuts. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait till you're like, oh, I just got my first million over here. Like I was telling my dad, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have this awesome dude, Golden Gambit, over, and he got like 15,000 followers on Instagram already. I was like, because like I was saying, I was like, I was trying to start up around the same time, but like you put in the work and the grind and put in that message. I love seeing those videos where it's like literally it's your face and there's a message on there, and it's like, man, I want to do some stuff like that. It's like I'm trying to think of like what, because I don't want to conform, you know. I don't want to conform. I got to do my own thing. So I'm like, what can I do? Or it's just like bam, 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 and just post and get out there, and it's all about engagement. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of creators, they want engagement. Like I always ask people, like, put it, in the chat. We got Cheyenne's in the chat already. So hi Cheyenne, how you doing?
Hey, Cheyenne.
And it's like, yes, engage, but that's the thing is like when you're first starting out, you have to be the engager. You know what I mean? You have to go out there and see who's out there and interact with them and message them and really try to claw that out. And it wasn't until a few weeks ago where I was like, all right, now that I got everything loaded, how do I reach out? And so I just started going on Threads and Facebook and all that stuff and just asking people like, hey, I got a podcast. Anybody want to come on? I always, it's so funny. I always call it like either a podcast or a show. I don't release this in an audio only version. There's no audio only version of this. So I can't even call it a podcast, but it's so weird to call it like a show, because then nobody gets it and then I got to explain it. But that was one of the things where it's like I didn't really want to conform to a specific idea of what this show was. I was like, there's times where it's me, and I didn't even mention there's a co-host. His name's Jason. He's not here because I'm sure he's sleeping, getting ready for his job at Walmart. In the last episode, Jason couldn't make it, so I had a special guest, and it was real spicy. I had my dad on, and my dad is he's the most unfiltered. I mean, I was scared. I was so scared for the longest time because he'd always be like, man, I want to come on the show. I want to be a guest. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I always told him, I was like, it's live, dude. I can't I'll trim that part or whatever. And I took the chance. It was 2 weeks ago at this point. I was like, you know what? Screw it, bro. If we're going to get canceled, we're getting canceled right off the bat. Like, we'll just restart and do it again. But it was an awesome discussion with him. So, like, and that's where I was hoping, like every guest, the show is kind of different because it really depends on what the guest is. Like for my dad, he's big into like talking about politics, talking about world events, talking about stuff like that. So that was around the time where like Russia and all that stuff were like, we're gonna nuke you and we're gonna nuke you, and everybody was talking about nukes, and I was like, oh, my dad's gonna love to talk about this stuff, dude. I remember always eating at the dinner table, and they gotta have the news on so we can watch, NBC World News, nightly news, and stuff like that. And so that was really cool. But so we boycotted Walmart. Okay, all you people out there, we're boycotting Walmart until they release Jason. Until Jason is released, we're not going to Walmart. I started going to Kroger. And honestly, Kroger's is closer to me than Walmart is. So sorry, Walmart, you lost out on like $10-20 every week from what I was going to get from you. But yeah, no, that's awesome. So let's talk about your music though. So how would you describe your music, your style? Because it is on everything, every level of yourself, it is unique. Like everything you do is unique. So even your music's unique. So how would you even describe what you got going on there?
So I would describe my music as alternative goth rock, like a hybrid. And some people have called it like horrorcore because it does have horror elements in it. Like the lyrics are dark and raw, and I create songs typically from my emotions, and I always describe myself as a jar of emotions that's been like shaken up and like it's just ready to explode.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So that's one of the greatest things about having musical artists here is like I want them to perform their stuff. So I think we're going to start off with a song here. So Golden, what is going to be your first song of the night? What's it called and what's it about?
So the first song is going to be Keiko. A lot of people love Keiko. The name Keiko was inspired by the anime character from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, love Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, great show.
This is one of my favorite of all time. It's probably one or two, like between that and Full Metal Alchemist. I'm like, ooh, I'm not sure, but Yu Yu. Oh,
Okay.
Okay, awesome, Keiko. So, how long ago did you write the song?
I probably wrote this song about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And aside from the name being based on that character, I had wanted to make a song that had a dark romantic feel to it. So like in the hook, I'll say like naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. It's like a naughty female, you know, like one of those women who have like a certain level of toxicness to them, but like it kind of turns you on.
Yeah.
And as I was writing it from the perspective of being in love with somebody long distance.
Oh, okay. Very nice. All right, so let me get this set up here for people that were for the last couple shows. I do a little fog. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's so funny? I had my kids, and I showed them. I was like, I got a fog machine, and they were like, we got to fog it. They kept. It was like this thing reloads like every 2 minutes. They kept fogging it up until this entire apartment was complete. You could not see. It was like Silent Hill, where you couldn't see 5 feet in front of your face, and they were like running at each other to like spook each other. It was so funny. And then we're like, oh shoot, we got to get the smoke out. So I opened the windows and I put a fan and I was trying to blow it out, but then it looked like there was some sort of massive fire coming out of my apartment because there was like so much smoke. So I was like, all right, guys, I don't know if we could do that much smoke again, but it makes the lasers look cool. So let me get that here.
Yeah, that's fire. I love fog.
There we go. And then let me put it on the room and get him set up here. For a second, I like to turn this one off. Make it dreamy there. There you go. All right, I'm going to load up Keiko. Everybody, we got Golden Gambit performing Keiko.
Sexy and gnarly, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sexy as Harley, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sex on me, all me, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. That sexy body, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Think about you all day, where does my day go? They call us crazy, the fuck do they know? I'm just so over this. I love your brokenness. Mindful of hopelessness. Mindful of hopelessness. We come from different worlds. You're just a different girl. Tell me your secrets. Victoria's Secrets. You saw it, I reaped it. You got it, I need it. You want the best for me, so just undress for me. Sexy and gnarly, naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sexy as Harley, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sex on me, all me, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. That sexy body, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. One thing's for certain, twin flames is scorching. Not from this earth, and twin flame is burning. Neither one of us sane, all of our thoughts deranged. Never ever want change, lock me in Alice in chains. A million miles away, gotta make you smile today. Gotta make you proud today, gotta give you pounds of pain.
A million miles away, gotta make you smile today. Gotta make you proud today, gotta give you pounds of pain.
Sexy and gnarly, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sexy as Harley, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Sex on me, all me, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. That sexy body, you naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. Naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko.
Very nice.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome. That's such a catchy tune too. I'd be like naughty Keiko, naughty Keiko. It makes me want to like go driving in like a 1980s like Nightwing sort of like car, neon lights everywhere, and I'm just like cruising, bro. I'm just cruising like that. Very nice. That's awesome. So when's the last time, the last show you did? How has it been performing, I guess, out there in the, so for those of you out there in the internet world, we're from Metro Detroit. This is Detroit town here. So why don't you talk about like the scene and kind of what's been going on here in real life and for shows and stuff like that for you?
So for me, I typically do shows in the alternative scene, which is thriving right now. But it's thriving. There are a lot of talented alternative artists, and the cool thing about being alternative is you got some people who make like emo music or like emo pop or alternative pop, and it's just so many cool styles that like everybody has their own like look and their own brand. Like I came across this one artist who would do shows holding like a baby doll. Yep, like he would have like a baby doll, and he wore this like mask that he had like cut from like his pants, and he wore like a cowboy hat, and like I was just like, man, that's badass.
There you go.
You know? And,
Yeah.
and he came up to me, he's like, man, like when I saw your style stood out, I was like, let me do something that feels cool to me, and this is what I came up with. And I was like, it's awesome. Like it's just, it's beautiful to see people, take their music and their art very seriously, and especially here in Detroit, because I feel like the alternative scene doesn't get as much spotlight as like the traditional Detroit hip hop rappers. Like all the spotlight typically goes to them. But I feel like going into the new year, the alternative scene will finally get that mainstream spotlight placed on us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like it feels like it felt like this year for sure was like the ramping up period, but I feel really strong. It's like there are so many things for next year. It just feels like originality is got to be big. Like originality, creativity, just everybody, whatever you do, if you do it and you're consistent with it and you put it yourself out there, I feel like next year is going to be just such a, my dad calls it a rocket ride, but it's like, I think that's really where I feel things ramping up to. It's like, it's not about having the most mainstream stuff anymore. It's about, and especially in this internet age, where everybody has access to anything. So it's like, there's so many things like you're talking about, like emo and stuff. It's like, I'm really big on emo too. And it's like, if you're into something, you'll search for it. Like you can go out there now, like back, 20, 30 years ago, I remember when I had to rent CDs from the library. It's like, oh, I need some music. I got to rent the CD from the library. But now it's like, I can Google anything. Yeah. And so you can find your communities. You can find your niche, whatever it is. Like I tell people all the time, it's like, whatever it is, they're super specific. Oh, my niche is too niche, or I don't know if I can find people like that. And it's like, all right, how many people do you think, what percentage of people do you think are into the same stuff as you? Like 0.001 maybe? All right, now 0.001 times 8 billion. There's still either hundreds of thousands or millions of people that are just like you. And as the internet grows, as everybody gets more access to these things, it just makes it easier for everybody to connect. And one of the things I like to ask everybody, because I feel like for me, for sure, but I think everybody's like, what was your first performance like? Do you remember the first time you stepped on stage, and like, how did that go? Could you tell me about that?
Yep. It's my first official performance. I was part of a showcase at the shelter. And it was extremely exciting and nerve-wracking, just because of like the legendary energy behind it. Because Eminem had filmed his final rap battle scene from 8 Mile there. So like I was nervous, and then it was a thunderstorm, and like it was storming, and I remember my dad got me like a shot of some Patron, I believe, like on stage, and it was fun. It was fun, and it was a moment when I knew I was just like I enjoy this feeling. Like I even though you get that nervous feeling sometimes, or at least I do, it's still fun. You know, like it's fun to be able to go on stage and share with the world, you know, something that I made. Like whether it's 5 people there, 30 people there, it's fun.
Yeah. So, like, what advice would you give to other artists that want to start and they're nervous about that? They're like, oh, man, I don't know about being in front of people or whatever. Like, how do you manage that, or what advice would you give them?
The advice that I would give as far as feeling nervous is you have to find things to calm that feeling. And I believe we all have different activities that will help. Like for me, whenever my nerves are like on edge, or my anxiety is high, doing laundry helps for some reason. So like sometimes like before a show, I might do some laundry or like iron some clothes. Like it's therapeutic for me. And also it's good to have a strong support system. Like, you know, having friends who also make music. Like, you want to have a circle of people who are, you know, constantly encouraging you, you know, and telling you like, hey, you know, like you're gonna kill it, you know. Like, it's been times where I'll have a show and even now sometimes, and I'll be like, okay, I'm kind of nervous about it, and some of my friends who make music will be like, dude, you're gonna kill it. Like, just go up there and just do what you enjoy doing.
That's awesome. Yeah, a support circle is really important. It's like, even if it's just one person, even if you just got one person behind your back, because I know a lot of people are out there like, I don't got nobody, dude. I don't got nobody. You don't got one. You don't got a younger brother or like a friend, like somebody that's just like telling you like, hey, man, you could do it. Because it is tough. If you don't have nobody, like literally nobody in your life that's like giving you any sort of push, it's like, oh, bro, I don't know if I can do it. And I'd get that. Like for me, I even look at even negative sources as a source. Like, I don't know why the internet is so mean to me. Like, I don't know what I ever did to these people, but I get like hate comments all the time. And I'm sure you get hate comments too. It's like, it's par over the course for just putting yourself out there. And I've made this video where it's like, haters gonna hate because haters gotta hate. They just gotta hate. They gotta let the hate out of them. They're like, they gotta tell you. And it's like, I love that. That fuels me. That fuels me, especially if like, you know, the internet people, it's a laugh, bro. You guys, the trolls, whatever, I get a good chuckle out there. I go, thanks for lubing up the algorithm. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your hateful comments. To me, the ones that are in real life cut a little deeper, you know, when people are like literally in your life, especially if it's somebody that's like a friend or a family and they think it's like good, like, oh, I'm helping you, or like constructive criticism or a certain way, but it's not constructive criticism. It's just criticism. Yeah. Everybody thinks that like saying something bad about whatever you're doing is like, oh, it's constructive. No. You missed out the constructive part. Like, what would make that better? What would you improve upon? Like constructive as in you're going to construct with me. Here's the criticism, but here's what my advice would be to get by. It's just like, criticism, and those ones, they cut deep for me. But to me, that drives me too. That drives me too, because it's like, I just want to prove people wrong. I just want to prove them wrong, especially when people are like, oh, I don't know, I don't think that's gonna work out. It's like, oh, really? Well, then now I got to make it work out I got to go twice as hard to make it work out. So yeah, like if you're out there nervous about stepping on stage or putting out content or literally anything, you're an artist and you want to draw and you're not sure if you want to go to this art festival and whatever, put your, you know, set up a booth or whatever, just do it. Like literally just do it, because you never know when you're going to meet that one person that goes, oh, that's awesome. I love your drawing. I love your music. I love your content. I love it is. And to me, like just getting one person to make a really nice comment is like, oh, that makes it so worth it.
Yeah, it does.
It makes it like, all right, I had 10 haters. I had 10 haters. You just erased like 10 haters worth of stuff. It's fantastic. Like, we just did this show literally a couple days ago. It was Friday. Today's Sunday. And we had some issues on stage. You know, we had some, and it's going to be so funny. I like to record every show because I like to be the audience too. Like, I like to watch me, because it's like you never get, and we'll never get that being able to be in our own shows. The closest we can get is getting a video of it and then watching it. But I always want to be like, oh, I want to see what it's like being me, but in the crowd. And we had some serious errors. And so, you know, you're on stage and you're like, we fucked up. Oh, well. And, you know, normally if you fuck up and you get off stage and, you know, obviously the bands, they want to be nice, right? They're just like, hey, good set, you know, good set. But you can tell when people are being genuine. You could tell when or they're just like, oh, good set. Or they're like, oh, that was right, bro. That one song was like really good or whatever. You can tell when you're being genuine, bands out there. If it wasn't a good set, don't even say it. That's what I'd say. If we didn't do a good set, don't tell me I did. And but we had somebody come up to us after the crowd. This woman, she came up to Mario, the bassist, and she was like, you guys are awesome. Do you guys got merch? Do you guys got, like, I want to buy a shirt or something. That was fantastic. And Mario's like, Al, do we got merch? I was like, no, we're too poor for merch. Like, we can't buy the real merch. You know, you got to pay for it first and then have it on hand. I was like, no, bro, we're too poor. I said, just, I don't know, tell her to go. I mean, that's the cool thing about the internet is you can have a free online merch store. I'm like, tell her to go online. It gets shipped right to her house. But people want it right then and there.
Yeah,
But
they do.
Mario was like, well, I'll just give her I print out a set list, and so that way everybody knows what the songs are. And he's like, I just gave her the set list. I was like, that's awesome, bro. That's a memento. Like, she, you know, if she really likes us, I know for sure if I was meeting a band and I was like, oh man, I think they might do something one day, I'm like holding on to that thing, whatever they gave me. I'm like, oh, I got their freaking set list. This is fantastic. So that just made the whole thing worth it. I don't care how bad we screwed up on whatever parts of the song. That one chick coming up to us, I was like, oh, that was fantastic. Well worth it. We drove, that was the Music Factory in Battle Creek. So it was like an hour and a half drive. First of all, we all had to drive 30 minutes to get to the lead guitarist Dylan's house, and then an hour and a half to the Battle Creek. So at first, when we were like at the end of the set, we're like probably like, oh, this fucking sucked. But then once that lady came up, we're like, all right, it was worth it. That's all good. So like, if you're out there and you see a band and you like them or an artist or whoever doing anything and they're putting themselves out there, you should go up to them and you should, like I'm saying, if it's genuine. Don't fake it, bro. If you're out there like, oh, I like your stuff and you don't like it. Fake ass, don't do that stuff. But genuine, like tell people. I think this world needs more positivity. Like that's like my main mission in life, and especially with this channel. It's like I just want to spread positivity. I want to make as many people happy as possible in whatever way that is. If it's making them laugh, it's making them entertain, it's whatever, bro. I just need to spread, because this world is so negative, Golden, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of know why, but it's like, it's so negative where it's like, then to have parts of positivity, sparking up here, it's like shining, it's radiant. It's like, oh man, look at that positive thing. The only problem is when there's light shining in the darkness wants to stomp it out. That's why the haters come out. They're like, you're trying to be happy?
Yeah.
You're trying to feel happy? No, you're a loser. You should stop doing that. Like, oh man, I love I read this one comment to my kids, and they were like, because I want to show them. It's like, because they, obviously, everybody's kids look up to them a little bit, and my younger son, he definitely wants to do some YouTube stuff, and so I showed him this one comment where it was like, the guy was like, you look like that nerd that wants to be cool but is not cool, or something like that. And they're like, Dad, why would they say that to you? I'm like, because they're haters. They're haters. They have to, like, they feel miserable, so they have to make other people miserable. They're like, I can't be the only one sitting in my misery. I got to make you miserable. But that didn't make me miserable at all. I'm like, I am a nerd that's trying to be cool, but maybe I'm not cool. I don't know. But that's the whole point, is like what we're talking about. I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm cool or not. I'm just being me. Some people will like it. Some people won't. We got a question in the chat here from Cheyenne. She said, what was that aha moment where you knew this is what you wanted to do? Did you have like a massive aha moment where it's like, oh man, I'm doing this and I think I got something here?
Let me think. The mess. It was probably when I played a show at Tangent Gallery for Skull Fest, which is the biggest goth festival that we do here in Detroit. And for me, it was a significant moment because going back to the haters, years ago, I would get, criticism. Oh, you're not goth enough. You're a poser. You suck. You need to quit.
Damn.
And to be invited to headline the goth festival was just like, okay, I got something here. Like it works. Like there's an audience who enjoys it. Like there's a community who not only likes the music but likes me as a person. And so like ever since then, I've just looked at what I'm doing in a different light. Because for me, making music is beautiful, but inspiring people and making something that they can use to escape their situations is very, very fulfilling to me.
That's awesome. And I seen that you're a big mental health advocate. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because you were, I saw an article about you written about that. And so I just wanted to hear from that. Like, why is that close to you and what you've done with that?
Yeah. So mental health is very huge for me because I battled depression and severe anxiety growing up. I had a lot of moments where I felt alone and misunderstood, and I didn't know how to get help or how to ask for help. And so I hit rock bottom and, knock on wood, I survived. And I feel like what I'm doing now with my platform, it can be used to help people who feel that way. And I don't believe that anybody on this planet should ever feel alone, should ever feel, scared to ask for help. So throughout the year, I try to be part of mental health, like expos and, give speeches of my story and, surviving depression, surviving, attempted suicide and using art, using art in a creative and positive way to make you appreciate life more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've struggled with depression for so long. Like I was saying before, I'm like, it's like when you've struggled with something for so long, you adjust to it, and then you're like, I don't remember what normal is. Like, am I out of depression, or I've just like seceded to it? I'm like, okay, this is part of what I am. And so, like, when I saw that for your mental health advocacy, I was like, man, I want to do some stuff like that too, because that's like what we were talking about. It's like you never know who is going through the same stuff you're going through. You never know those people that have those same feelings and they feel alone. And I hate that. Just like you're like, I don't want anybody to feel in that moment, that gut-wrenching moment where you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. Because like I know that way too well, and it's like I don't want anybody to feel like that. So it's like, how do we reach more people? How do we get out there and, like you say, advocate for these things? Because there should be nobody on this planet. And I know, because it's like a lot of people, they go through really hard times and they're like, it's not a chemical imbalance. My life just sucks. And it's like, no, I get that. Your life sucks, but somebody, if not me, or somebody's glad you're here. Yeah. You got to be here. You got to be here. And there's some people out there, they're like, nobody's here for me. I don't have anybody in my life, whatever. Well, you know what? Who you got at the end of the day? You. You have you. Do it for you. Go another day for yourself. because like I like to think of that little boy, which was me, like, you know, at this point, like 30 years ago or whatever, the little version of myself. And sometimes I'll think about that and I go, man, I just gotta go for that boy. I gotta go another day for that boy. Because we were all those little children with high hopes and aspirations and a more positive outlook until, you know, life hits you, adulthood hits you, relationship issues, work, whatever it is. And it's like life does drain on you. And it's like, man, and that's why we're talking about support systems. Like, that's so important to reach out. If you're like, man, I think that's the strongest thing you could possibly do is ask for help. It's the strongest thing. I think a lot of people go, I don't want to ask for help. I mean, I know I was there too, where it's like I just tried to struggle with it until one day I was like, you know what? It's either A or B. A is the road is ended and B is ask for help. So I'm like, well, I'm going to ask for help. And that was one of the best things I ever did. Because, you know, obviously I'm still here today and you're still here today. And that's why, like, I have a song about it where I like to introduce it in the beginning of the song where I'm like, this is about clinical depression because I don't want anybody out there to feel that. And if you feel that, you're not alone. Yeah. You're not alone. Even all the loners, they're like, we're together. We're not alone. Loners together are not alone. That's that Sigma Wolf mentality. Yeah. The loners together, we're not alone, which I appreciate. All right, Golden, let's load up another song here. What's going to be song number 2 on the set list?
Ooh, let's go. Did I send you favorite?
What's that? Yeah, you sent me favorite. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let's do favorite next.
Let's do favorite. So tell me about favorite. What's this one about? Where did it come from?
Okay. Actually, so it was originally called Favorite, but I changed the title to Favorite Bitch. And
oh, I love this one. I love this one. Yes.
Oh man, funny story. This song, when I first made it, I did not like it, and I did not plan on releasing it. I don't know why, but like when I made it and I played it, I was just like, this song is not good. Like it's not good. But the meaning behind the song was another form of dark love. It was having a favorite, partner. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to having their favorite person, whether it's somebody who they're dating or somebody that they're in a situation with. And we used the beat has like an 80s rock kind of goth vibe to it that you can dance to. And I'm so happy that I ended up releasing the song because people love it. It's like my most popular song to perform at shows. And it's just about that favorite person who's toxic, but you just love them.
There you go. Isn't it funny how it works where it's like as an artist, you have a certain feeling about something and then you're like, I don't know about this. I'll just put it out there. And then people are like, oh, I love that one. And that happens to me all the time. We're like, why? Yep. I got better stuff. You don't like this? They're like, no, I don't like that. I like this other thing that you didn't like very much. That's hilarious. All right, let me load this up here. Smoke 'em out.
Oh, yeah.
Laser up. Light it up. He's like, it's right in my face, though. It disperses. There we go. All right, let me load this up here. Favorite. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my Stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She said 66666. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my Stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She say 66666. Leave your feelings home or leave them in a ditch. You make me wanna quit. I hate that I exist. I think I'm better lonely. I spend my nights with nosebleeds. I hang with low lives who kill themselves slowly. You better watch me closely, cause you love butterflies in the summertime. And I wonder why you rage into my shit. You slicing on your wrist. You crave to be my bitch. You just my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She said 6666. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She say 6666. We don't go on dates. We just make mistakes. Bite me till I bleed and wear me on your face. I'm not a fan of love. I come alive at night, just like a phantom does. I like all kinds of stuff, and I'm a misfit. I fit just like my gloves. They wanna love on me, loving me's not enough. And she just gets me, drinks me like whiskey, even while with me. She still miss me. Bitch, yeah, you my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She's like 6666. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. The Lilo to my stitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. You my favorite bitch. Yeah, you my favorite bitch. Ask her what's her number. She say 6666.
I just love the sound of your shit, Golden Gambit. I just love the sound of your shit, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, yes, dancey, got the vibe. That is so, it's like chill groovy. It's like groovy, it's chill, but it makes me want to it makes me want to sit down and get up at the same time. Like I either want to get up and dance or I just want to sit back and chill and just relax. That's so funny. Dark love. That's such an interesting concept. Just like the other song you were talking about, like that, what do they call it? Like almost tainted aspect of things. And so I love the songs that you write about, because it's like, it makes people think. It makes them think a little bit. It's not just this traditional stuff that you're used to. It's like, no, there's some little bit of a twist on these things that, like we're talking about, there's a lot of people out there that are going through something that are like, man, I know my favorite bitch. I mean, it's just like, I know what, as soon as that song came out, they're like, yeah, my favorite bitch. That's it. that one girl, Cheyenne said, this is going to be stuck in my head for days. It does. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, my favorite bitch. And so I can get what you're saying. You're like, man, the people just love it. It's catchy. Got that stickiness to it. I mean, that's the great thing about music is like when you have the right combination of like rhythm, beat, melody, and catchiness. Mm-hmm. Like those three elements, it's like that's how you create hits. But it has to come, I think, from from your natural self, and that's how like that song, you can just tell it's your style, your essence, your whatever it is. So it comes across so authentic and catchy and sticky and all that stuff. So it's like that's why that one's such a big hit for you, which is fantastic. I can't wait to be able to listen to that back afterwards when I go to rewatch the show here. Let's see here. So another thing we were asked in the chat here by Shan, what is the biggest or best fan moment that will always stick with you? Did you have like a really big fan moment that really struck a chord with you that you remember to this day?
Yeah. Somebody had came to like 2 of my shows, and I really didn't think much of it. Like, I appreciate, people who come, and, I always thank everybody who comes to the shows and supports. But she, at the second show, had showed me that she had ordered like $300 in merch, and I was just like, wow. Damn. Yeah. Like, yeah, and I was just shocked because like she had been following me but like I didn't know that she like was that invested into the music and like what I was doing. So that was pretty cool.
She's my favorite bitch. I mean, like that, whoa, that's that sugar mama sort of energy. Damn. No, that's awesome. That's awesome to like honestly like even just getting one person to like, oh yeah, let me get a sticker. I remember we used to have stickers and wristbands and like even if you just spent $1 on us, I'm like, thanks, man, that's so cool. Like you could have just avoided us the whole time, but you're like, no, I'm gonna go up there and get a little something. That's fantastic. I have somebody that like still has one of the wristbands to this day from not my current band, my last band that I haven't been in for like I don't know, it's like 12 year. It was like a long time ago. Our last show was like, I mean, we did a revival thing and it was like 2015, 2016. We did a little thing, but I was like, man, you still got the wristband? It's been like 8 years. That's crazy. That's fantastic. But yeah, no, those fan moments are just fantastic. Like I said, people, if you're out there, go out. First of all, more people should go to local music.
Yes.
Okay. Why? I know we had the COVID thing and then everything had to get shut down and there wasn't any live venues. But then now we're out of that. And I think we need to have this giant revival. I always hear about stories from like the 70s and 80s, and it's like, man, these shows were nuts. And that's how a lot of bands blew up back in the day was like local shows. They were just doing local shows. People wanted to come out and see them. They wanted to come out and hear the music. They wanted to get that entertainment. You can't get this from. You think you're getting the favorite bitch stuff with the lights and the whole thing with your MP3 player on your iPhone? No, you need to go out to a show. You need to see it on stage. It's a whole different presence. It's a whole different experience. Like, and everybody needs to do more local shows. I wonder how we can incentivize it or like how do we get more people to come out because as the internet grows more people are hunkered down in their house they don't want to leave but for us as artists and musicians like that is how we get that ground game going. I mean every musician or anybody that's going to be in any sort of way they need to have an online presence. That's guaranteed nowadays. But what's the point of being a musician if you never play live stuff? So it's like, how do we get these people to come out to do more? Like, just be able to go out and do your shows. That's the thing we got to figure out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see here. So, now, Golden, so one of the things that I was thinking about when you were coming on the show or, like, we were talking about getting you on is, like, what do you do, like, to like inspire, like when you're sitting there posting and you're doing all this stuff to like grind out, like do you have like an agenda, a plan, or like do you just do it willy-nilly, like how you do it? Like how did you realize kind of the growth and the potential? Because like I said, this is exponential growth. I'm telling you, in a year or two, dude, you're gonna be like double, triple what you are, because it's like a snowball. So like, is there how did you kind of go through this process, and how do you go through it every day or your week or?
So the first step, which I feel like was the biggest step, that really started the momentum, was putting myself out there. And there was a point, even though like I was doing shows consistently, I wasn't really putting myself out there like content wise. Like I was only posting like a couple times a week and not really posting anything about me. Like I would just post stuff about the music. And once I started making content that was actually about me first, like aside from the music, like making content about what I believe in, which is not conforming, doing what makes you happy, trying to be a symbol of hope and inspiration for people, just constantly putting my face in videos, constantly putting myself out there for people to see. And once I got through the negative trolls, the haters, then the content had eventually reached people who resonated with it, and who understood what I was trying to do, which was help people, and inspire people, uplift them, because some people who feel misunderstood and lost feel like, hey, I feel meaningless. Nobody cares about me. Nobody hears me. Nobody sees me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be this symbol that, hey, I do see you. I do hear you. I do value you, you know, and I'm here, you know. So, like, when I make content like that, I respond to all my comments, all my DMs. I have a channel, you know, and the people in my community, I'm constantly asking them, hey, how are you? How's your day? Are you struggling with anything? Do you need advice? You know, so just trying to connect with people on a deeper level really took me to the next level as far as my career.
I'm like writing it down. Connect with people on a deep level. I'm gonna like.
Yeah,
I'm not conforming. It's just I see success out of this man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like 5 years of like you guys are. He is literally. And when I was googling, I was like, what do you call yourself? I was like, I know you have some sort of title, and then I saw Goth Rockstar, and I was like. Yes, bro. Of course he's the Goth Rockstar, and it's like iconic. That's the thing about you with your imagery, with your message, with your music, whatever. It is iconic. You have an individual style, an individual taste. Those are the things that work. Those are the things that work longevity, long term. People, they're flash in the pans. There are people that get big for a year and then they're gone because they don't have substance. There's no substance. It's just like, oh, I'm trying to do the whatever's flashy, whatever is going to be interesting, and then they forget what's interesting or they run out of ideas. They're just like, I don't know what it is. Versus like what you're doing and like you said, like interacting with people and connecting with people, and it's a lot of work. Yeah. And like I know, just sometimes I'll try, like I'll go on Threads or X now. I don't want to call it X. It's like it's the stupidest name. They should have kept it Twitter. I don't know what he was thinking. I complain about that almost every show. I'm like, stop. And that the only way to grow on those platforms specifically is interacting. Is like, hey, seeing a post like, oh, that's cool, or somebody will say, hey, what's your favorite? You know, it depends on your niche, right? Or somebody's like showing out guitars, like, oh, what's your favorite guitar? And I could be like, oh, I like that James Hetfield signature Snakebite guitar. It's so sick. Oh, blah, blah. And that's the only way you grow is literally posting and commenting and messaging and doing that stuff versus YouTube and TikTok. You could kind of grow from posting a video and just let it do its thing. The algorithm kind of puts it out there and it'll do that. Instagram seems to be hard. For me, it's really hard. It's like really hard. Like I said, I've been trying to post so much. And it's like Instagram for me, it's like, I think it's probably that combination. That's the piece I'm missing out of Instagram is the actual, like, trying to get out there and connect with people. Because I don't think you could just post on Instagram and let it roll. It doesn't work on Instagram. Instagram needs more out of that. And so, Lone Wolf Face says, "What's up, cuz?" Hey, there you go.
Up?
What's up? Which is fantastic. So, can't wait to see that. Now, Golden, what's going to be the third song on the docket now that we got the Lone Wolf in the chat? You need to hear something.
Okay. We're gonna play something that's unreleased. It's gonna switch the vibe a little bit.
Unreleased?
Yeah.
Exclusive? Fantastic.
It's called Heathens.
Heathens.
Yeah. And the inspiration behind this song was about, I guess we could call them heathens, but just people in this dark realm who are not following any rules. And I wrote this song envisioning this apocalyptic world, and like, you know, it's a portal to death, and heathens are down there, and it has new metal vibes to it. I wanted something that would be like powerful, that I could, you know, like perform like with the band and get up there and just rage.
It's sounding pretty like dark and heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, let me load it up here. Get them on the room. Smoke them out again. Boop. Boop. Lasers. Activate. Boop. There you go. All right. Heathens. Here we go.
I got some heathens way down, way below. They're way below, way to take your soul. And how I know, cause I'll make it so. You like the drip in my Laker souls. Good and evil on my shoulders, bitch, I hate you both. You see it in my eyes, that I've been weaponized. The dark energy pierces and enters me. Walking on glass shards with undead jaguars. I can turn mice to men, their souls are right with sin. Questions of the night, what is the price to win? No matter I shall pay, worship me and obey. There is no other way, bow down and come to me. I got some heathens way down, way below. They're way below, way to take your soul. And how I know, cause I make it so. You like the drip in my lake of souls. I got some heathens way down, way below. My bats drink blood, the dead eat mud, the living bores me, the living weep ones. They say there's more to life, maybe I'm poltergeist. Let blades touch your skin, the culture orderized. City of my stars, do what I say so. The riding ravens are just so faithful. When it comes to me, the low life's under me. That pretty body does nothing for me. I got some heathens way down, way below. They way below, way to take your soul. And how I know, cause I make it so. You like the drip in my lake of souls. I got some heathens way down, way below. Heathens way down, way below. They way below, way to take your soul. And how I know, cause I make it so. You like the drip in my life of souls. I got some heathens way down, way below. They way below, way to take your soul. And how I know, cause I make it so. You like the drip in my life of souls.
Damn, Golden's taking over new metal too. He's taking over it all. He wasn't satisfied with the goth and emo. He's like, give me new metal too. I'm taking it. Damn, that sounded awesome, dude. So this is unreleased. This hasn't. You can't get this online yet. This is the only way you can hear it. When do you think that's gonna release? Are you gonna drop it as a single, or are you waiting to do like an EP or an album with it, or?
It's probably gonna be on the next album, coming out. It's gonna be early 2025. It's gonna be called Sigma AF, which is Sigma as fuck.
There you go. There we go. Nice. Oh, that's fantastic. So I was gonna ask about that, like, because I've seen you perform with the band. So like, do you have like a set of guys that you just call up and you're like, hey, it's band time, let's go, or do you have to like find people every time and get them like that? So what's the story with that?
So with the band, originally I used two of the same guys, and then over time, due to like schedules, I would like rotate members. But recently, I've been performing with the band Sandspit, and they know my songs, and they're like super awesome. So we're gonna be doing more shows together and doing original music.
Nice. Do you have a show already booked, like your next upcoming show?
Yeah. It's gonna be February 5th at New Dodge Lounge, in Hamtramck.
Feb 5th. I'm hoping it's on a day I can come, so that way I can go live. I'll be like, I'm reporting live from New Dodge. I've played the New Dodge quite a few times. Love the venue. Really nice people there. It's a good. I remember this one time in particular. We're talking about helping people. We're talking about positivity and stuff. This one time, we just got done jamming out, and we're pop punk. Sometimes I like to say we're punk, but we're not that punk. We're not that punk. But we go out there and we give it high energy, and we get all jumpy and sweaty and stuff, and get to the end of the set, and this really drunk guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I like your shirt." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, thanks, bro." Because I was wearing a Metallica shirt. I always wear Metallica. That's like my, I don't know, particular outfit for shows. I have different Metallica shirts, but I always wear a Metallica shirt. That's awesome. And so I can't remember which one I had in particular that day, but he liked that shirt, and he's like, "Give me that shirt." And I was like, "Give me my shirt." He's like, "Yeah, I want your shirt." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I just took it off me, and no shirt. I didn't have a second shirt. I just took it off me. I gave him the shirt, and he just walked out. He was done. Like, he watched us. He jammed out. And then he's like, "I want the shirt." He got the shirt. He left the bar. And I was like, "What?" And my band's like, "Why did you give him your shirt?" I was like, "He really wanted it. He really wanted it." Now, I would say, like, he's going to remember that forever. He was so drunk, he probably woke up with a Metallica shirt. He's like, "What is this shirt for? Who gave me that? Why is it sweaty?" But that's like my favorite memory from New Dodge Lounge. Is like, I'll always remember that drunk guy that I gave a shirt to? If you're out there, drunk guy, he's like, "I knew it. It was you. I was whose shirt it was." You can keep it. You can keep it. That's your shirt forever. That's for your memory. All right, February 5th at the New Dodge Lounge in Hamtramck here. I'm gonna make sure I get to that if I can. And so, what's the band that you said that your team? So you're partnering up with them, so they have their own thing, but they'll play your stuff too.
Yeah. Sandspit.
Sandspit. Sandspit, so that way I can look them up too, because maybe we can one day get you guys back out here with the full gear, the full band and stuff.
Okay.
Now, how do you make this music? Like, it sounds phenomenal. Like, I try making my own music. Like, the stuff we have out there, Cheyenne's like, no, it sounds okay. No, it don't. No, it don't. No lie. And it's like, it's tough. It's tough to like make it sound. It's like all I tell people is like, I'm not trying to make it sound like the Black Album from Metallica. I'm not trying to make it sound like Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. It's like, oh man, multi-million-dollar studio. No, I don't have multi-million-dollar. I just want it to sound good. I just want it to be like, okay, I could hear this being played in anybody's car and a radio or something like that, where it just sounds as good. And your shit, it sounds good, dude. I'm like, what the heck? So like, how do you get these tracks together? Like with yourself, or like, so do you do these things by yourself?
No. So I've been working with the same producer and sound engineer named Mondo, and he does it all. He plays guitar, he plays drums, he makes beats, and because we've been working together for like 7 years, he knows my style, he knows what I like, and he knows how to make me sound good. And one of my skills is having a good ear for beats. Like, before I even make music, I have to hear a beat. Like, and if it's catchy and I'll hear it, I'm like, okay, that's the one. That's something that we can make something good to. Like, when I first heard the Keiko beat, I was like, okay, I don't know what this song is going to be about yet, but I know that it's going to be cool. Like, just from hearing that rhythm, hearing like the melody in it.
Yeah. So like when you go through your writing process, like, I know that's a question I get a lot. It's like, how do you start? Like, how do you, like, so you get the beat, and then like, do you like have like a set of, like, from the beat you get a feeling and you're like, okay, I think this song will be about, and then so how do you expand upon that? Like, what is your songwriting process when you get something like a foundation of that? How do you expand upon that?
So typically I'll throw my headphones in, I'll turn it up loud, and I'll play the beat. And sometimes I'll try to force it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes I'll get certain inspirations, like from my mood or how my day was, or what my mental state is at that current moment. Because I can be a bit of a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm like super happy. Sometimes I'm like, I wanna rage. I wanna make some rage type shit. Sometimes I'm in this mood of like darkness, and I'll envision just this like alternative reality of just like darkness, like horror, like monsters and like demons and just like scary stuff. And I'll write with that theme in mind a lot. And this is bad, but sometimes I'll write at red lights. Like I'll be driving, right, and something will pop in my head, and I'm like, oh man, I have to write this in my notes real quick, because if I don't, I'll forget it. Like it's almost like just being in that moment of like driving, and I'll just think of something like this is cool.
Yeah, no, you got to capture it in the moment. Like people are like, no, red light. I'm telling you, it's not just red lights. I'm sure it's like for me, I was sleeping. I went to bed. I laid down. I started dozing off, and I got this idea in my head just for a beat. It was just like a something like maybe a bridge to a chorus or something like that. And I was like, oh, bro, I gotta get up for just a split second. I'm like, and then I just pick up my voice memos. I'm like, nah, or whatever the thing was. Because you're right, bro. If you do not get it captured in some capacity, whether it's writing it down or voice memoing or something, you'll lose it. You'll lose it. Everybody thinks like, oh, I'll just remember it later. No, you won't. No, you won't. You never know that one thing that's the spark to be this whole extra thing that comes out of that. And it's like, you got to be able, they call it capturing, what is it, lightning in a bottle. You got to capture lightning in a bottle, because if you don't capture it, you just go, oh man, that was cool lightning, but you're the only one that knows about it. Nobody else heard that lightning. Like that's what you got to do, which is fantastic. Cheyenne said, I would never lie. It does sound good. It's just not everyone's cup of tea. That's the thing where I get away with being, when I say we're punk and they're like, it's punk. And it's like, when you say you're punk, you can always get away with anything. They're like, it's just punk rock, man. It's like, I say that for now because I know it doesn't sound that good. But one day we're going to sound so good. It's going to be, because I'm always thinking like, man, I want to sound like my biggest influences in the pop punk world are like old school pop punk. Like, we're talking early Blink-182, Sum 41, The Offspring, like 90s Offspring. Like The Offspring's like my fourth favorite band. Third is Blink-182. And then my top two, it's Metallica, obviously, if I'm going to wear a shirt every day. Metallica's number one. Megadeth's number two. Because growing up, it was like those two were like back and back. They're almost like two sides of a coin, because they're not exactly similar. They're both like thrash metal, but they're like, people either like one or they like the other, and then there's a niche of people that are like, oh, I like both because they're so different. But those are my one and two, and then everything else beyond that two thrash metal influence, everything else is pop punk, like the next like 5 or 6 entries. And so it's like, man, I always just wanted some like really good sounding stuff like that. And so I think like what you're saying is like getting with somebody and just getting that relationship with them where it's like they know what you're going for. And so that's our next great frontier. Now, luckily, and this is why you guys want to get out there. This is why you want to make connections. This is why you want to talk to people, and even just posting on people's stuff, is because like Absentees is a local punk band from around here. We played a show random. I can't remember the first time we played with them. Because we played with them like 3, 4, 5 times at this point. Oh, maybe the first time was at Parts and Labor in Melvindale. Parts and Labor. That was a good place.
I like that place.
And then I saw them and I was like, oh, these guys fucking rock, bro. Like, I remember, as soon as they played, and they were just high energy, and they're only a 3-piece too. And so I was like, I always find that particularly exciting, like when a 3-piece is like, bam, because it's harder. We're a 4-piece. We need that extra guitar to drive us forward. Some people, they just did 3. They get a bass, a guitar, and a drummer, and they make it work. And I'm like, man, we can't do it. I needed a little bit more. That's why I got a lead guitarist. But I saw that. I was like, oh, that was cool. And just from that one show, then we got another show. they released an album, and I told him, I was like, that album sounds so good, dude. He's like, and he ended up hooking us up with a guy, not for that album, because he's like, that was really expensive. I was like, no, we're too poor for that. But he was like, oh, but my buddy did our last album, and it's here, check it out, let me know what you know. And this is the crazy part, the small world factor. The guy that did that album for the Absentees, I told the lead guitarist Dylan, the Cheese, about him, and he looked him up on Facebook. He's like, oh, wait, I know that guy. We were like best friends in high school. He's like, no, that's crazy.
What?
So he reached out to him and he's like, hey, man, it's me. And he was like, oh, Dylan, that's crazy. And so they're like, yeah, no, I totally know that guy. That guy's awesome. We used to hang out all the time. And he's telling me stories about what they used to do and like hanging around the neighborhood and going to do stuff and seeing stuff. And I was like, oh, man, what a small freaking world. But we wouldn't have known. I would not have known that. Dylan wouldn't have reconnected with that dude if we didn't, first of all, play with the Absentees. Second of all, tell them how awesome their album was. Like, every decision you guys make, people could. I mean, a lot of times there's some bad decisions you guys make it out there, and yes, you'll get repercussions from them. Yeah. But make those good decisions. If you're, I can't tell you how many times, Golden, where I'm like, I'm out and about, and I see somebody, whatever capacity it is, and I want to say something nice, and I'm like, I'm not sure how it's going to come across. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want them to think I'm a creep, but it's like, I just genuinely want them to know, like, this thing that I'm sure they were sitting at their house, like, oh, should I wear these glasses or these ones or whatever it is? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I just want them to know, like, oh, that's cool. That looks great. Like, I remember this old lady. We're at the airport, and I was getting through the TSA scan, and they make you take off your shoes and your belt and like everything. They're like stripped naked and go through the metal detector. And so I'm waiting for our bag, and this old lady's waiting for her bag next to me. And she was probably 60 or 70, but like her hair just looked so on point. It was like so on point. It was gray hair, but like the way it was styled and pressed and everything, and it just, the way it looked, I was like, I just couldn't help it. I said, Miss, your hair looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. And she looked at me like no one's ever talked to her in her life or in that capacity for that positivity. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, no, for sure. That's fire, dude. That style suits you. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. Instant smile, instant light up. I'm sure she was hopefully she felt that positivity all day. Like, man, that was really cool. The young man told me how good my hair was. Like, I'm not making shit up. Like, I'm not gonna go up to random people just give them positive things for nothing. Like, if you have something going on, like if you're seeing something, somebody has a cool set of glasses or the nice hat, like that's why I started wearing this hat so much, is because when I go out and about, people go, oh, Naruto, nice hat. I'm like, thanks. It really tells me where the nerds are, because I'm like trying to connect to these nerds. So like, I'm like, I'm a nerd. I put it on full display. We look at the room. I got my anime posters over there. You can't even see them because I changed the angle of this there, but it's like we're talking about in the beginning of the show. It's like, put yourself on display. Yep. You will find the people that are like you, that are into the same stuff as you. You just have to put yourself out there, and that's the scariest part. That's that first step. That's what you got to do. And even in the real world, if you're not trying to like be an artist or a content creator or an influencer or something, just in the real world, you're just trying to gain friends. You're just trying to gain like-minded people that you can talk to and hang out with. Like, you need to put yourself out there, because there's a lot of shy people, especially like if you don't know somebody. I mean, for instance, like I'm really shy. It's just when I know I have to be outgoing, I can. You know what I mean? It's like I can do that. What do they call it? It's like ambivert. I'm an ambivert. Okay, like I do like kind of being secluded. I do kind of like doing my own thing and chilling by myself and stuff. But if I'm out and about and I know I need to be a little bit more outgoing, then yeah, I can get in that mode. I got to switch it. But then you're out in that mode for too long, then you got to kind of huddle back. You got to like regain the energy. So yeah, just put yourself out there, which would be awesome. All right, so Golden, let's do one last song here. What's this last song going to be from your set list here?
Let's do Midnight.
Midnight. All right, tell me about it.
So I wrote Midnight at midnight, and the inspiration behind it, aside from the time, was just in my experiences, the fun usually happens after midnight. Like after midnight is when like the parties really get going, and You know, like on a Friday or a Saturday night, like things just get exciting and entertaining. So that was the thought process behind Midnight, and to just stick with the goth punk type vibes.
All right, awesome. Midnight, that's so funny. Yeah, you think back, people, you're out there like, oh, all those fun times. Yep, they were probably after midnight too.
Yep.
Now it's like after midnight, but before, there's like a cutoff. It's like
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
good after, it's after 3 a.m. or something. I don't remember the time. It's like, that's peak golden hour, okay? Midnight to 2 or something. It's like peak.
Yep.
That's peak. And then past that, you might run into some trouble here. Let's do it. Boop. Boop. All right, let's load up Midnight.
Midnight, 6 days, 6 nights, 6 side. Midnight, I've been low, I've been high. Lucid dreams, recluse right, seduce I. Midnight. Can't move, can't fight. The devil's tongue, the devil's bite. Midnight. I taste the copper, align the chakra. Midnight. Demons around, demons inside. Something about tattoos, they need to grasp you. I need to ask you, can I have you? My eyes like raccoons, wide as baboons. Move on. The world is broken, the world is gone. I play it cool, I'm jaded Jews. A sex symbol, sexualized, fetishes, the best of I. List of regrets, liquid infects, hearts in the grave, souls with a whore, life without meaning. I'm just deleting, I see you lurking, see you retweeting, and out of sight is out of mind. Stay still, I don't mind. Midnight, 6 days, 6 nights, 6 side. Midnight, 6 days, 6 nights, 6 side. Midnight. Midnight, 6 days, 6 nights, 6 side. Midnight. Midnight, 6 days, 6 nights, 6 side.
Fantastic. This is a club banger. This is a club. I want to go to a club. I want to be like dancing, bumping with people. Like, yes, midnight. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Golden Gambit, for coming on to the show. I appreciate you taking the time and coming out here downriver. I should be able to be there on February 5th. I want to double check before I'll guarantee to be there, but I feel pretty strongly about being there. So I'll be able to see you live, and then I'll do some nice clips for you.
Okay.
So that way I can post it and tag you in there and all that good stuff. But thanks for coming out tonight. Everybody in the chat, Cheyenne, the Lone Wolf, and the people that see this afterwards. And there's always like a ton of people that they show up and they just never chat. I tell them chat. Like they call lurkers, the lurkers. I appreciate you lurkers too. You can lurk all you want. I know I'm a lurker on some people's Twitches and stuff. I just lurk. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to listen. I appreciate the lurkers. And you haters out there, I appreciate you too. Yeah. Comment below how bad I am or golden. You know what? We love it. We love it. Okay? We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. We're out this biatch.
I'm Sorry, everyone, the show's over, but we thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We're out of here.
You what?
Good day.
Are you ready?